Olivia.
Olivia, right, okay. Olivia, here's a diagram that shows us some blocks. Yeah? There's a hexagon block and some square blocks around the outside. And you've got 3 stages here, the first stage, the second stage and the third stage. Okay? So can you tell me, without doing it, how would you draw the next stage, stage 4?
I'd draw a hexagon about the same size,
Yeah?
and then I'd draw 4 squares on each side as it shows, just like that.
Okay, good. What about if you had to draw stage 10? What would you draw for that?
I'd do the same thing, except I'd draw 10 instead of any other number that you could do. I'd do 10.
10 of what?
10 of the squares.
All right, and would you draw anything else apart from the 10 squares?
I'd probably write stage 10.
Okay, but you'd have 10 squares here and...
Oh, and the hexagon.
And the hexagon,
sorry,
and 10 squares
yeah.
all the way around, okay.
Yeah.
And stage 58, what would that look like?
It would have the hexagon again, and then I'd just put 58 squares on each side.
Okay, good. Now, what about if you had to tell somebody how to draw any stage at all without knowing what stage it was? What would you tell them?
I'm not quite sure I follow.
Okay, so I asked you to do stage 10,
Okay.
and I asked you to do stage 58.
Okay.
What would I have to tell you if I wanted you to do any stage without telling you which stage it was?
You could say, now draw a hexagon and then however many squares
Yes.
the stage is.
Okay, and however many squares you would draw from?
The hexagon?
Right, from each side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Now, here's the same diagram that we had before, and now we've got a table.
Okay.
Can you see what the table is showing us?
I can see that the table is showing us that the stage number.
Yes.
So like here it's number 1, and then it's got 2 and 3,
Good.
and then and then it's like a little activity, and you just need to write how many blocks it goes out. So I'm pretty sure you only need to do one side, not all of them together.
Well, no, because it says the total number of
Oh, yeah,
blocks.
then you
So
need
what
to-
I want to know is how many blocks altogether in stage 1.
It's 6.
Now,
Should I write that
wait
down?
on. How many blocks altogether?
In stage 1.
Yeah, in stage 1. How many blocks can you see there?
Does that include the hexagon?
Yes, that's a block as well. Yeah.
Okay, then that would have to be 7.
7, okay, good. Can you write that into the table? And then complete the table for stage 2.
Okay, 6 by 2 equals 12, so that's 13.
Okay, now that was interesting. You just said 6 by 2 equals 12, so that's 13. So how did you
Yeah.
count those blocks?
I just used the multiplication because I figured out that would have to be 2 times the amount of that. But I didn't really need, but the hexagon would make it a bit uneven, so I didn't use the hexagon. I used the 6 squares, times that by 2 I got 12, and then I just needed to add in the little hexagon there.
Good, okay. So how would you work out how many blocks you need for stage 3?
I'd figure out, I wouldn't do the one I used here, I'd figure out it's 6 by 3, and that equals 18, and then you just need to add another one on for the hexagon, so that is 19.
Good, thank you. Okay, now can you please look at the numbers that are in the table and tell me if you can see any patterns in the numbers?
Okay, I'll see. Yes, I can see.
Okay, what one do you see?
I see that the numbers are increasing by 6.
Good. And why do you think they're increasing by 6?
I'm not quite sure. I can just tell because I figured out 7 plus 6 equals 13, and then 13 plus 6 equals 9.
Good, that's right, and that's true. They are increasing by 6, but I'm wondering if you can explain why they're increasing by 6.
I can't really explain that.
Do you want to have a think about it?
Okay. Well, I think I've got it. Maybe it's because there's 6 sides on a hexagon, so maybe if it was a pentagon, they'd be increasing by 5.
Right.
I think that may be the reason.
Okay, so where are the extra 6? Where's the extra 6 coming from in the numbers?
The end one, or maybe it could be any one of the squares. See, here it's 2 squares, and then here it's another one.
Right.
So it's increasing by 6.
Good, okay. Very good. Can you see any other patterns in the numbers there?
Not really. I don't think so.
I'll just have a think for a minute.
I can't see any more patterns, or unless you put it backwards and then it's decreasing by 6.
Okay, good. So the numbers are decreasing by 6 when you go backwards, yeah?
Yes.
All right. How many blocks would you need to make the 10th stage?
61.
61. And how did you work that out so quickly?
Because if it's a 10th stage, and I know that there's a hexagon, that means 6, so 6 by 10 equals 60, and then you've got the hexagon, so it's 61.
Right. What about for the 58th stage? What would you need to work out for that?
58 by 6. I'm not quite sure I could do that one.
No, not in your head. Okay, so you do 58 times 6, and then
Yeah.
what would you do?
And then I'd add 1.
Okay, and for the 100th stage?
I just do 100 by 6, 600, and then add 1 for the hexagon, 601.
Good. All right, now here's a question like the one I asked you before. What if we didn't know what the stage was? How could you work out the number of blocks for any stage?
I can't really, I don't really understand.
Okay, so I asked you a minute ago
Yeah.
how many you need for the 10th stage,
Yes.
and you told me, and then the 100th stage,
Yeah.
and you told me. What about the nth stage, where we don't even know what the stage is? How many blocks would you need for that?
You wouldn't know because you can't figure that out. But you'd know that you'd need over at least 100, probably. Over 600.
And why do you say that?
Because I figured out, you asked me for the 100th stage, and that means 601 at the end. So you'd need over 600
Right.
blocks.
Okay. What about if I have a secret number,
Okay.
and there's a secret number, and it's hidden in that box? Yeah? And that number, that secret number that's hidden in the box, represents the stage number. How many blocks would there be in that stage?
You wouldn't be able to figure it out without the number, unless you drew the hexagon with the squares. Then you could just count 1, 2, 3, and that's how you can figure out it's stage 3.
Right. So you would have to know what that number was
Yeah.
before you could work it out.
Yeah.
Is there any way you could work it out? You could explain how to do it without knowing the number.
If I can only think of one way, if it actually shows you the little diagram, and then you can just count out, and then you can just count how many blocks there are, and then you can say maybe it's stage 50, 70, 1000. That's how you can figure it out.
And if we didn't know the stage, but we knew that there was a number behind that box, what could we do to that number to work out the number of blocks in the stage?
I'm not quite sure I completely follow.
So, okay, there's a number hidden in that box
Okay.
that represents the stage number.
Okay.
We don't know what the number is, but what could we do to that number to work out the total number of blocks at that stage?
I can't really answer that question.
Okay, that's all right. I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
There's a stage and there are 121 pattern blocks in it.
Okay.
Can you work out what the stage would be?
120 divided by 6 equals maybe stage 60?
No, you said 120 divided by 6, and I said to you there were 121 blocks, so why did you say 120 divided by 6?
because you have to add in that little hexagon, but you can't really divide that by 6. And I divided it by 6 because of how many sides a hexagon has.
Right.
That's it.
So you just need to work out
Yeah.
what 120 divided by 6 is.
Or 12 by 6, and that's 2, so that's 20.
Now,
and then
well,
you just add the extra 0.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you wanted to work out 120 divided by 6, but that was a bit difficult. So what
Yeah.
did you say?
12.
12 divided by 6.
And then I just added on the 0 at the end.
Right.
And that equals 20.
So you said 12 divided by 6 is 2,
Mm-hmm.
and so the answer must be 20,
Yes.
because you were going to work out
Yeah.
120 divided by 6.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. That's great.
Okay.